This is Sam Gagne, and you're listening to the Real Life Podcast.
Gagne, oh, what a move! What a win for the Oilers!
I like the music bed more than I like the actual Sam Gagne part.
You like music more than you like Sam Gagne.
Well, I mean, the bed itself is solid.
I like that
Did
we've been
music
sitting-
ever get 8 points in an NHL game?
We've also been sitting on that for 3 years. My favorite part of it.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, I should make like a cool Sam Gagne montage when he joins the pod. And I was like scrolling through my real life folder, and I was like, oh, I have a Sam Gagne intro made.
Meanwhile, we've listened to that same like 4-year-old intro for the last 4 years.
I actually vote we play Gregor the piss intro.
All right. Well, if we're gonna do it because Jason Gregor is here, let me find where that is.
It's a good intro for the pod, Gregs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do we have it?
Oh, here it is. Yep. I got it. You ready?
I'm Tyler Yaremchuk here to tell you I'm fucking disgusting, bro. And I generally stink like piss because I don't wash my hands. I piss on them.
Look at Gregor. Look at him just judging right now. You willingly came back into business with us. There's no other option.
Piss on them.
I actually piss all over myself.
Yeah.
The handling problem.
Piss on them.
It's funny.
Piss on them.
Somebody drinking their own urine.
No,
is
it's
totally
not.
possible.
But it's
funny because when we said, hey, Gregor's going to join us for the show, the one thing JR said was, I hope he likes talking about
wash my
piss.
hands.
On our group chat.
So episode 500.
Can't even go 5 minutes.
This is a piss pod.
Episode 515 of the Real Life Podcast. First one in probably about 400 episodes that Jason Gregor's here.
Congratulations. Welcome back.
It's a different studio.
The show you started.
Yeah.
Different show altogether.
You guys have changed.
You left Menudo and you want to come back to Menudo.
We still, Timberlake left.
We do the same dances still. It's mostly the same.
Oh yeah, a little more urine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Urine.
that's taken on a life of its own.
You just got to think.
Every show evolves. Some are good, some are bad. Depends which way your evolution is.
We're longer in the game. That's about it. It hasn't gotten better. We just have done more.
No, I'm like Chris Kirkpatrick, and I'm coming back, and you're coming back to In Sync as JT with all the success. And
That's true.
You're looking around at Joey Fatone and Chris Kirkpatrick, Lance
What
Bass.
up?
We've all done some stuff. None of it's been good.
Yeah. We'd really like you to come back to the show so we do better. But, what are you going to do, right?
Yeah.
We'll make a go of it.
Can we get you're just going to give us a little bump here. How did the Sam Gagne interview do, though? I'd like to know that.
It must have done
It got a Frank Saravalli bump.
Oh.
Frank tweeted it out.
Look
So
at
shout out
that.
to Frank Saravalli.
Did he asleep on his phone and rolled over and hit retweet? What
Yeah,
happened?
by
How did that
accident.
happen?
It was not intentional.
Yeah.
No, that guy, I mean, Gregor, from doing a pod of them, that guy vacations hard. He's off the grid for like 6 weeks every summer.
As he should be.
Yeah.
No,
He
that's
works
good
hard.
for him.
To answer your question,
Catches
though,
up
Tom,
on his sleep.
the video version of the interview has got 16,000 and counting on YouTube right now.
That's 16K.
16K.
That's crushing.
It has passed the Evander Kane interview.
And that means it's getting close to or has passed the Ekholm live trade reaction we did. Because I think that one was 16 or 17.
Yeah, something like
That's
that.
a live show. But anyways, Jason Gregor's here for today's Real Life Podcast because we are almost being in the thick of it. It doesn't feel right to say we're days away. It constantly feels like we're just hours away from the launch of Sports 1440, Gregs. But things are coming along pretty nicely, hey?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind for sure for the last, I kind of joked. I think I was busier unemployed than when I was employed. So, but it was, it's something that kind of came together in a lot of different pieces. And then, I've owned my show for 4 years that's just my show. And I was like, if there was ever any errors or something go wrong, you look in the mirror and say, hey, idiot, figure it out.
Yep.
4 years.
No, I've owned it for 18.
Yeah. You said 4 years.
Oh, the 4 hours.
4
Yeah,
years.
4 hours.
Oh, I see.
4 years.
Yes, of course.
F-O-R.
I went longer than that, 4 years.
And so now, you know what? It was lots of phone calls, talking to Jay, because I really, obviously with my history with the nation and, just your guys' digital platform and your digital presence and everything like that. It's, I wanted to try to combine it. I love radio. I know a lot of people were like, it's AM radio. And I'm like, AM radio works, man. And I think it connects people in ways that other things don't. And Edmonton's a diehard sports community. And
people, we're biased, but people are pissed there's no sports radio.
Oh, live it.
Pissed.
Many friends of mine would comment that they felt like something from their day was missing.
Yeah.
It was gone.
They got broken up with.
They
as
didn't
Gregor said.
have that constant in their life where if they were going and taking the dog for a walk or they were in their car, that they could just turn it on and hear a truly local sports opinion. And it was it was affecting them. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what to, how to get this information. So a lot of people were very happy it's coming back.
The companies that close that make me the saddest are the ones we own because we lose all the money. But other than our own shit closing, 1260 shutting is the one that made me the maddest.
So Greg, when you were getting started with this, like, I know that you've owned your own show, but like now you're really starting a station, and you probably had to delve into some parts of the business that you hadn't in a while. What was that like? Like what kind of things did you find that you actually really enjoyed, and what were you glad you hadn't been doing?
Yeah. Well, I want to make it clear. I didn't really start the station because obviously Stingray owns the station.
Sure.
Partner up with them. And, it's lucky because I worked with Susan Reed before when she was at Bell, and she's left many years ago, but her and I had a history, and anybody who does business, like obviously I had a history with Jay. So I was able to combine like the radio and the digital with people that I worked with. So I think that helped. But obviously, really, I've never had to, like, I've always had to hire people on my show, but I was the host. So I've never had to go out and, talk to people and convince them, hey, like if I do this, because I couldn't commit to anything until I know who are the hosts, right? And you want to get some quality hosts on the show, and then you got to get some quality contributors, and then you need, good operators and guys with experience. So it was a lot of phone calls, right? And now I'm like, and thankfully not texting, because too much texting drives me up the wall. Like,
I'm a big phone call guy too.
You can solve way more in a short period of time by a quick conversation. And, like the digital stuff, honestly, like I don't know much about it. Like I know how it works, but it's behind the scenes stuff. So, bugging Madison and Tyler and them. And so the biggest part for me has been, there's things that when I had just my show, I only had to worry about that. And I could control all that. And so now it's a bigger process. And so, working with Jackie and Susan on the Stingray side, and then everybody on the Nation side, it's unique, and it's been a lot of fun. I'm curious to see, like, once it gets on air, I think I'll have a big sigh of relief just to say, okay, we're up, we're running. And now the show's go, and I'm confident, like Kevin in the morning. I think people are going to be really happy with his show.
Break down the shows.
So Kevin Carius is on, obviously he's been in the city actually longer than me. So I think he was 25, 26 years at Global. And he, it was kind of the right time. He had been looking for a change. And, he's got good connections into the city. He knows all the teams. He's covered the Elks, covered the Oilers, the Stingers, and obviously loves baseball, the Riverhawks. But he's done tons of stuff with U of A and Nate and everywhere else. So he gets that element of it. And, like you look at who we were able to connect and get his co-host every day. So you're going to have a different co-host every day. So Eddie Steele on the football side. We have Lorianne Munzer, who I'm really excited to have, because she can give us a individual sport perspective. She's an Olympic gold medalist. And
what sport?
Cycling. And she like anybody wants to have a quad measuring contest, don't, because it's not even a contest. But she's also a motivational speaker and a public speaker. So she's very well spoken, and she's really going to focus a lot on the mental side, which I think is cool, because mental side of the game is no different than mental side in business, right? Like someday if you're a salesperson and you're close to a sale and then they back out, well, you're pretty pissed, right? And how do you deal with that? Because sometimes, or then you cold call 10 people and none of them call you back, right? So mental health in sports is kind of depending on what you do in your job, the same. And I was excited. Connor Halley's been at our station. He's worked with me for a long time. He was due to host a show. I really wanted to give him a show.
Connor Halley gets to host his own show.
Yeah, so he's hosting with Brandon. They're hosting the Fantasy Frenzy. And it's going to be an all fantasy show. And you know what?
Daily.
People are loving it every day at 11 o'clock. Well, if you go to Sirius XM, they have a 24/7 fantasy station.
Is it predominantly hockey, or is it going to be some football, some baseball? It's going to be all
football.
They're both
some
big
golf.
football guys.
Yeah, they're huge.
Throw some golf
guys.
in?
Yeah, golf. Daily
Awesome.
face-offs become a big one. So they're going, like, obviously you can't really do much hockey face-off. Like you could do fantasy, excuse me. Like you could do dynasty stuff right now and look at your lineups and projections and all that. But no, NFL, like first week of NFL is coming up. So yeah, no, there'll be lots of NFL, lots of baseball in the summer, golf, and then and daily fantasy with them. And then Low Tide, he's like that. He's your steady veteran.
The Godfather
second
returns.
pair defenseman that every team needs if you want to win.
Yeah.
Right? And he'll keep everybody calm. And although I have noticed Low Tide gets a little bit fired up more lately, which I kind of like. So he'll be in from noon to 2. And he's got Declan's working with him. So I think that's a good combination. A little bit of youth on there with LT, keeps him in line. And then myself and Connor will do the drive show.
Cool.
So I was wondering, because you had made yourself a home studio. Now, when you start this new venture, is Do you have to build a whole new studio? Like, how are these guys all doing their shows? Is it from home? Do you have a space? Did you have to build one out?
We're all at West Edmonton Mall. We're in Stingray.
World's largest mall, if you don't include the 3 bigger ones.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, we're on the second floor, right above the Lego store, right beside K97 and CFCW.
Okay.
And the Breeze. So we have our own like Sports 1440 studio.
Do people stand there and staring at you?
I guess in theory, yeah, there is a glass partition there that they could if they
We
wanted
strongly encourage people to write tasteful signs,
Yeah.
mocking Tyler Remchuk.
Yes.
Live on Jason Gregor's show, streamed on YouTube. Subscribe today.
That would actually be funny to maybe we'd have a contest at some point. You want to win tickets to a certain event and, come up with your signs that people can see. Because what's unique about my show, and it's going to be all the shows down the road, but to start, my show is going to be live on the Nation Network's YouTube channel, right? So subscribe to it. We have a goal. We want to get to 16,000 before it starts. So hit the subscribe button.
20,000.
20,000 before the start of next season.
20,000 before the start of the
We're gonna
season, and he'll wear a Donair costume all
24
day.
hours.
And have to eat a Donair.
Whoa, what?
24 hours in a
How come
Donair
I'm
costume.
just hearing about this now.
This is what a publicly traded company does. You've missed some stuff since you left.
Yeah, we workshop.
just harangue your M-Chuck into dressing and costume.
Yeah, so if we get to
Did
20,
you guys buy that Donair costume?
Jay did.
With a different one.
Jay
I
bought
don't have it in my
A1.
possession, but it should be coming.
Not
Yeah,
the
we
one
need
that
to
went
talk
for $1
about
million
that.
bucks.
Yeah, we
But
need
it's
to
not happening.
No, we have it. It's just we need to pay for it.
So
Oh,
apparently,
okay, yeah. I haven't seen it. Where is it?
I think
It's
Aaron
sitting
has
at
it.
the ballpark because you paid for it.
Well, someone tell me. That's like
Right
this
now,
is the
yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Right now, I'm
easy.
telling you.
Done.
You guys bought it at the Riverhawks game.
Yeah.
Yeah, not the,
But not the one that was the government
Donair
one. That's for the rich Donair people. This
Yeah.
was a
Yeah. This is
sensibly
this one's
priced
better.
Donair.
Sensibly priced.
Yes.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Do you know the entrance number that you're closest to in West Edmonton Mall? That's
Do you?
That's the only way I can really
55.
55. See, there you go.
It's up on the. It's right by the.
Just
by
north
the
of the whale
Scotiabank
tail.
Theater,
It's
by the
right
big theater.
theaters.
Yeah. Just I work in entrance numbers.
Actually, the opposite end of the mall from the whale.
yeah,
The whale tail's been gone for 40
No,
years.
it's in
It's
phase
back,
one.
man.
No, it's back. It's back, man.
It never
Phase
left.
one.
Oh,
It's just not in water. It's beached.
yeah. It's
Yeah,
just,
it's beach
kids
flow.
can walk in. They love it.
Still smells like piss, Tyler.
That's an objectively funny joke.
love it. Why would they move the whale? Like, why go to
Victoria's
the trouble?
Secret needed a waiting room, man.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
You know what? They did the right thing. I didn't realize the
You part
Victoria
the
was
seas for
involved.
Victoria's Secret.
Because they needed more kiosks to sell
Victoria's
really.
Secret needed a waiting room.
Yeah, like outside, there's all those benches and stuff outside of Victoria's Secret.
Where the
all
miserable men sit.
Yeah, the miserable men
Why
sit.
would you be miserable? You could just watch them. Like if you're going to Victoria's Secret with your
Significant
partner,
other.
Well,
then you'd be better saying, "Hey, the whole point of me coming here is that I get a little bit of a, let's see how it looks."
I'm going to tell you a little secret about the people who sit in the benches outside Victoria's Secret. They see them buying the lingerie. They never see it again.
they're buying it for someone
They're
else.
buying it for someone else. When it comes out, she's like, honey,
Holding.
you wouldn't even believe all the deals I got in there. And then you never see any of it on her. It's called a red flag, boys. It's a red
If you're
flag.
sitting on that
You
bench,
sound like you're speaking.
Like,
from
where's a
experience.
whale tail
if
at?
you're sitting on that bench, hire a PI.
Yeah, that's right.
Like if we go there, we're gonna look in the
Yeah, just me rating why.
engraved into the Wanye was.
Yeah, the tears that used to accumulate in the pool outside Victoria's
Do you
Secret.
got a prenup?
No, I wait outside Victoria's Secret for the ones that are coming out full of hope because they just bought lingerie. I can see the look in their eyes. I'm like, you know what you need? You're be disappointed.
So I have something because I find when I go on vacations, and I go on a lot of them.
Avoid the grind.
But by the end of them, you start to get the itch to like get back to doing things. You did 4 hours of radio very consistently for a very long time, and now you've gone 3 months without it?
Just June 14th, 13th, I think.
Are you
12th
wearing
was
your
last
family
day.
out with your takes?
Yeah, do you come
Yeah,
home
like-
to the dining room table and talk about sports for 4
just-
hours?
You know what's
Line combos and fantasy coming out.
It's actually hilarious because as Chalmers alluded to, the last few years, ever since COVID, I did my show from home.
Yeah.
And so today my wife came downstairs. She goes, you know what? Like some days it was annoying because we get fired up and she could hear us kind of, arguing or debating on things. She's like, I think I might actually miss that.
The live show.
The atmosphere in the house.
Yeah, so it's like some days like we'd have to shut this doors because my son would bring his friends over and they're playing right outside your office. So it's a little bit different experience. But you know what, Ty? It's been, I think, because I've had to do so much that I haven't thought about it. But I would say that like this week, I'm starting to like plan. Okay, you know what? Now I'm going back on air, and always for me, going on air was like the easy part for me. I've done it for so long. I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. It's like the way to wind down the day. I always try to go on there with a positive attitude, have some fun with people because I always try to put myself when I was listening to to John Short, because that's really why I got in sports talk radio. Like I listened to him as a kid. I was like, God, like I love this. Like, and I had a lot of moments with my dad. And I look at it now and I'm like, I just want to get back on air and be able to talk sports and not have to kind of worry about all the business side of stuff. Right. And really it's been flattering to hear from so many people. Like probably my funniest story was I was in Costco, which normally I would never go, but
I'm scared of Costco.
I got some time. I had my first, we'll talk about it, but I had my first ever Costco hot dog. We'll get
What?
What? Yes.
First?
And
Look at him joining us civilians in the real world, eh?
I never really go, but honestly, my wife used to go, like, I'm just like, when I was single, like single guys don't go to Costco.
No, what do you,
like,
you don't need
you would just
12
spoil
liters of
everything,
mayo?
right?
Yeah.
And so my wife, like, I don't mind going shopping. My wife would usually do it. But so when you have more time, I'm like, hey, I'll go because I never get to go. And I'm like, push the cart around, you're wheeling around. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but it's fun.
The best.
And anyway, this lady comes up to me in Costco and she stops, she goes, excuse me, are you Jason Gregor? And I'm like, yeah. She goes, I didn't know you were dating my husband. And I'm kind of like,
busted.
Pardon did I?
Yeah. And I was like, pardon? And she smiled. She goes,
Oh, you're married to Carl?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's what I should have said. And she looks at me, she goes, no, like I didn't know how much your show in the station meant to him. Like he was just distraught. It's really been bothering him. And this was in like late July and we'd been close to, we were pretty much at the 90 yard line, 100 meter sprint kind of thing. I'm thinking we were going to cross the finish line to get this back launched. And so I told her, I said, well, hey, you know what? Why don't you tell your husband that you had an inside source who will tell you that it's going to come back? And she's like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, but you got to make a deal with him. Like tell him, hey, I got a really good inside source, but you got to give me a foot rub and then I'll tell you what it is.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know. So we'll see if any husband out there, I'm sorry if you had to give your wife a foot rub.
Oh, he's not listening to this.
Hopefully she gave you some good news. And she's like, man, like it'll make his day. And there's lots of people that just like, they miss, people are like, yeah, man, I miss low tide. I miss people on the show. And it's just something that, as Chalmers alluded to, there's a comfort to it. You get in your car. Like even today, one of my friends said, man, he's got a real tough thing going on in his life right now. And he goes, I just can't wait to get in my car so I don't have to hear my thoughts. I can just kind of listen.
It's so true. Podcasts and like in your radio show, it just is like, it's even if you're not paying full attention, it's like that friend that's just there keeping you company. It's like a way of dealing with like a loneliness.
Yeah,
like,
it's an escape.
you don't feel like you're by yourself when you're driving in your car and you're listening to when you and Struds would go off and it was fun, and that's what people miss about it.
That's what I was going to say is when I was at when the thing happened 3-4 years ago now, I would just have 1260 on all day at my house because I was by myself and it was like I would listen to you and Struds and I would listen to Low Tide just tell stories and it's comforting. It's nice.
Yeah, like my biggest comment is when people tell me that, you know what, your show a lot of times just like guys sitting around the bar kibitzing about sports. Yeah. Right. Like you bring on different interviews and lots of your regular guests, like lots of people. I think most of us don't really understand the goalie position unless you're a goalie. And Kevin Woodley for the last 5 years has lots of people like, man, like I feel like I kind of understand. And so I don't freak out on the goalie as much as I used to, right? Oh, that's a terrible goal. And then Woodley will explain, well, actually, this is what was happening. And so stuff like that I find is good. And so I look forward to bringing it.
What I think is like something you may not think about, but when guys get together on a Friday night and they're having a couple pops, they haven't done all this research on sports, but they want to talk about sports.
Yeah.
You're the one that's informing them. You're the one that's helping them keep that conversation going throughout the week by giving them your opinions, analysis, delving deep into certain things. It's helping that conversation because without it, I mean, I want to know what's going on with the Oilers and we get together with 4 dudes who haven't listened to anything about the Oilers all week. And what are we talking about?
That's this podcast.
You're not actually referring about you in that story, though.
No,
right? You're talking about someone else. Okay,
I'm talking about just other.
You don't want to know about the Oilers.
Yes, I do want to know about the Oilers. I want to know.
Unless Tyler wants to talk about
what you're mad about.
But you know what I mean? Like that's the way that these conversations when you're at your kid's hockey practice and you may not know these dads as well. And so you might not have these icebreakers. These are the conversations, things that we'd heard on your show or things that other people told us that help break that ice. And it's important, man. Like it's really important.
So I was assistant coaching my son's soccer team and they played until like the end of July. So we'd been 2 weeks since we were off. And one of the kids on the team came up and he's like, hey, Coach Jason, you know what? I miss your show. And he's 10. And I'm like,
Shouldn't you be in school?
And he goes, yeah, like me and my dad and my brothers, we'd listen to it after school a lot. And, and he's a huge like athletic kid. He loves it. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. And so later on, as I was walking away, I saw his dad. I just said, yeah, you know what? Hey, your son said this. And he mentioned, he goes, you know what? And so his older son is like 16. And the dad says, you know what, man? I've had more conversations with my son started because of sports radio. Because a lot of times, anybody out there listening, if you have a teenager, and when you were a teenager, like, hey, how are things going? Good.
Yeah.
Like, it's a one-word answer all the time, right? And so, and it brought me instantly back to when my dad and I were in our vehicle driving home from hockey games.
Yep.
We'd listen to John, and then we'd have some conversations, and and some days, you know what, it didn't seem like much, but now that I'm a dad, I'm like, God, like you just want to talk to your kid sometimes. Yeah. So to me, that was the time. That was one of the moments where I was like, geez. Well, I think I got to try to get sports radio back because originally I was talking, I was going to, we were going to just do a podcast show, which would have been great. And so now we're able to combine podcast show with the radio. And that's kind of what I like.
I feel like I was present with you at that golf tournament as you were like, Gregor invites me to this golf tournament. I go to the golf tournament. And prior to all these people are coming up to you, like there's been a death. They're coming up to Gregor. They're like, Gregor, geez, like and I can just see the steam in your ears and going to the tournament. I'm like, we're going to do some sort of podcast. But I didn't know like what the deal was. And as more and more people were just like, Gregor, the radio is dead. Gregor, we missed the radio. I could just see you being like, and by like the 6th hole, you were like, I'm going to get a radio station going. Like I was actually there but there's a legitimacy to the radio.
Oh yeah.
I think that podcasts are great. This isn't plugged into anything, but being on the AM dial for people in their trucks driving in Northern Alberta, being, you know what I mean? Like there's just a different set of people that really had nothing else going. Like
I wouldn't downplay what you guys do because you guys bring a unique form where you're really agree. Talk about you're a bunch of guys just sitting around talking sports, and people can really relate to that.
We've literally never done prep. It's the only shtick we've been able to commit to in this podcast.
I was 10 minutes late today.
How we talk about how no one listens. It's the only thing we've been able to commit to.
Yeah, because no one listens.
Our whole shtick is that there are no shticks.
Yeah,
nothing happens.
But and this is like periodically about sports, whereas you're on topic 8 hours a day, right? That's impressive.
So you said because one of my favorite things when I used to drive home from a hockey game with my dad was listening to the call-ins.
Yeah,
it was especially good when we were bad because the post game was the best, man. Is that so? Do I, man? Like,
there's the same in the afternoon because I used to host the night and I grew up on sports talk radio. And John Short was 9 to midnight, so that's what I knew.
He put me to bed every night. That's a weird one, but
and you get people who have had a couple drinks and they call in, and if the team doesn't, if the team's not doing well, like it gets fiery and it's fun. Like, is that? Do we see that coming back?
Well, what are you talking about? Oilersnation After Dark.
You got a thought? Well, so we
live
have,
after every Oilers game.
We have done that, and it's been great. And you guys bring
Chalmers
people
didn't
on.
get the Instagram post.
No,
he doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
He's gonna start plugging. We're talking calls every 2 minutes.
Pardon my take.
Well, the chat's about every 2 seconds. So
yeah, things are a little bit different now because of texting. Right. Like if you look at text line compared to calls, because even if you have like the reality is about for every good or 2 good callers, there's like a lot of where you're just like, oh, okay, right. That wasn't necessarily whereas texting, like you can get after a game, like 100 texts in the first 10 minutes. And, then somebody siphons through them and you can pick out the really good ones. It's no different than you have your YouTube comments, right? You get your chat line and everybody sees it and you build it up. And there's certain texts for sure that are easy starting points to just fire up your audience, people in the cars, right? And I know what the hot buttons are in Edmonton. I've always tried to be somewhat level-headed. Doesn't mean that my takes are all level-headed at all, but I try not to go for the hyperbole too often. And probably the biggest complaint I get on my show is they're like, well, Gregor, you never rip on Darnell Nurse. And I'm like, because Darnell Nurse makes way more good plays than he makes bad plays. Yeah. Does he make some bad plays? Sure. But he makes way more good ones. And so I can't just focus on the bad one because a scout.
But he makes $9 million.
Yeah. Well, if we're going to get into this.
No. I'm not upset about He's
too focused on hating Evan Bouchard. Leave him alone.
But all you have to do is if you look at Nurse though, and just look at the 5 contracts that were signed right around him. The average,
Jones?
The average salary is 8.625. So if Darnell Nurse is overpaid by $600,000, that's not even one player in today's NHL. So what the hell? Contract is I don't really focus too much on contracts because guess what? Does Leon Draisaitl get more love because he's $3 million underpaid?
Yes.
Not really.
I think he does. I think a lot of people.
People still are like, the minute he makes a bad pass, what a lazy, stupid pass. And I'm like, dude, the guy's probably
the second best player in the league.
One of the best value contracts based on production in the leagues, and which is fine. Like people are allowed to to be upset at a player. I have no problem with that. I just always try to bring the opposite point. Say, okay, hey, Darnell Nurse, terrible play right here. No problem. But that doesn't mean he's a terrible player. There's a difference. A good player can make a terrible play.
Some people, though, one of the things they love about sports is being able to shit on people because it's like not good in this society to tell your neighbor off, but you can get mad at Darnell Nurse.
Place where it's okay.
Exactly.
Where you just like
you can get mad at Darnell Nurse, not mad at your wife for going into Victoria's Secret and spending $300, but you didn't see no lingerie.
Yeah.
Hey, read the text. Like, I could probably take screen captures of the text line some days that there's just some you can't read, but I always encourage anybody, like some of those were the best texts I've ever read. Like I would go to commercial breaks and Struds and I and Connor and, whoever else was on the show, like we were dying. Like some of them are like, there's some really funny people out there, but then sometimes like guys are literally, they're just like, oh, and they're yeah, sorry, I was venting, right? Like it's hilarious, but that's good. That if you can get
the release valve.
Exactly. If you can get people emotionally connected to you, whether they like you or or love you, it's all good. Ron Durda, one of the greatest instructors I've ever had, said, if everybody likes your show or likes your podcast, then you don't have a good podcast. Because if everybody...
then we're doing
Tyler,
good.
Everybody hates Tyler in the comments, but we love him, right?
Yeah, we get a bunch of reviews that they're basically, all of our bad
5
reviews are
stars.
just about me.
Tyler sucks.
Yeah, 5 stars replace Tyler. 5 stars, Tyler's terrible.
Yeah.
but guess what? If you were all the same and then it would be vanilla and it's like, well, then we're pointless.
And Tyler's our franchise, so it's important that we push him up, not pull him down.
Well, they don't like him because he pisses lots? Or
well, there's that too.
I don't...
It's not about hit pissing lots.
I actually
They call him pompous is a word I've heard.
It talks down over us. It's all true. But we love it. It's all true. Everything's true.
Are you going to read a review?
In fact, his piss love is what people love the
Yeah,
most.
like we got back-to-back reviews on August 1st. I'd love to know what our podcast was right before August 1st. That was my first one back from vacation. And it was 1 star, would be a great podcast if Tyler wasn't involved. Annoying and pretentious. Then the next one was 5 stars, titled Tyler Sucks. Tyler is hard to listen to.
Yeah. Do you know how many iTunes accounts I've had to sign up for to leave all these reviews, by the way? It costs me hundreds of dollars monthly to always change my name.
That happened, Ty. You know what? To me, like, so Struddy for the first few years in our show.
Where is Struddy? I hate to interrupt. What the hell? Did you guys break up? What's going on?
We have a big announcement coming on Tuesday.
Oh, he's back. Thank
not
God.
in the same role.
Oh.
But and I think because I want Struddy to explain why, because it's something that I have utmost respect for, but I don't want to say it because it's his thing to say.
Yeah.
And it's
I was about to say it.
Strudwick on Tuesday's pod.
I think it's something for guys they'll want to listen to. So tune in the first hour of the Gregor Show.
His wife won't let him?
At Sports 14.
Is that what happened?
No, don't even try to badmouth Sean.
His wife said,
don't do that.
Kick the
saint.
shit out of you. Right? So
She's feisty.
Good God.
Her and Dorothy Mantooth are the same level of...
Yeah. But the greatest part was, so Struddy, he's a very likable guy. He's really funny. And so for the first few years on the show, and then all of a sudden he started to, there's like 2 guys who can't stand him. And it was so funny because Strud's be like, what the? And so at commercial break, and he's texting because I could always tell when he was texting the one guy because everybody
He'd fight back with him always?
Well, no, he would just respond to him, but on the keyboard. But anybody who does it, it's like, think about it. All of a sudden you're writing an email to someone at work and you're pissed off, and naturally you're punching the keys harder. You shouldn't be, and it doesn't mean that you're writing anything more.
Tyler sucks on this podcast.
But oh God, it was, and so I could always tell, and it's hilarious. And the Struddy's like, who is this guy? Like, because he never would leave his name or nothing. It was, and I said, Struddy, now this means you're good now, because you have people that hate you. Because the truth is, and it didn't matter, like, because it stemmed from, he made one comment once about baseball, and the guy didn't like it, and that just set him off. And he's like, you don't know baseball. And so he just and it was great because I get a lot of them. So I was like, oh, it's nice.
So about time somebody else got some of the.
So I was like,
thank goodness he's coming back. You guys have a good thing going.
That was Struddy's welcome to the media world moment. So it was nice.
I asked you about getting back on air, but I want to ask you the flip of that, which is there something you've gotten into a habit of or something you've picked up during this time where you're not on the air for 4 hours a day that you are like, damn it, I have to stop doing this now?
That he says watching piss videos?
Dude, 100%. I am addicted to solitaire empty thieves game. It's freaking embarrassing.
You were playing that at the draft.
I know,
we were
it's
on
brutal.
the draft floor and Greg was like playing solitaire on his laptop.
God.
Yeah, I was watching.
Like, I was just like, what is, like, I got addicted to this stupid, and it's hard.
What makes it different from normal solitaire? Is it like a
dude,
leveled
you got,
base
like
thing?
2 decks in it,
What,
and
are you
it's
dumb?
and you can only go through the deck.
Normal solitaire is for idiots.
It's way harder.
I got addicted to one called Tiki Solitaire.
And so I like a challenge in it. So so you got to really think ahead. You have to look at all the moves, and it's like you win one out of like every 20. So it just sucks you in to keep playing. So I've been weaning myself off of it slowly. Like I blocked it on my phone because I was like, I got to get this site off my phone, man. So I blocked it because I couldn't stop myself. It was embarrassing. So that'll be the thing.
The new show is 4 hours of solitaire talk daily. I'm leaning into it.
It's a solitaire
if you've
podcast.
never tried it, because there's 3 games of like you click on the thieves one, but I play the empty thieves because there's like 3 different versions of it, and I was just like, yeah. So Ty, it's like awful, it's embarrassing. So that's the one. But
I was expecting you to be like spending time with my son or something. Solitaire.
No, I would do it at night. Like obviously, that's the one thing. Like I did get to spend a lot more time in the summer with my son, just biking, and my wife. We joke like, geez, we've had a lot of like. There's some nights where, okay, we've been talking to each other for 3 hours here. What the? See you later. Like,
I'm gonna go downstairs.
So it's, but it, and he goes back to school now, right? Today was his first day back for grade 4, and he's all fired up, which is awesome. But yeah, I'll miss that stuff, but I'm ready to go back to school. But that's the one thing I'm like, okay, I got to get off the solitaire train.
Yeah.
But you like, even when you're in full radio mode, like your work life balance, family, you manage that really well, like better than most. Like you put like rules in place.
Yeah, no, you know what? Like at our house, like when I get home from work, I turn my ringer on my phone, but I put it in my bunk, and like, cause we have a little back in the back entrance, and I just leave it there. And most times until my son goes to bed, because I get it. If it's my phone sitting there, oh geez, look at something. And so, we try to have those, my wife and I, we're really cognizant. We read a lot of books on just your kids need to know you're present and how much that impacts them long-term. So I'm far from perfect on it, but that's the one time, especially now, because when I was at home, like I could run upstairs at a commercial break when you get home from school. Hey, how was school today? So it was kind of fun. So I'll miss that. So now when I get home, it'll be like 100% like, hey.
So no home studio anymore? Completely?
No, I have the home studio. We do the DFO rundown there and stuff.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But to start, I needed to be in the studio, right?
Will you do DFO from the other station then?
No, I'll do DFO. I have all that stuff at home. Like I have that. And, down the road, if there's a few days where I could do it from home, it's something to consider. But for now, it's going to be in studio, especially when you have, co-hosts for a long period of time, right? Like Frank and Ty, when we do DFO, like it's 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Right. And so but 4 hours, sometimes it's better when you're face to face.
So I've got the home office as well. And I know that it's all great being around your child a lot and being present there. But let's be honest. When it's the middle of the summer and they have all their friends over and they're in and out, and you're like, don't you get the urge to just be like, I got to get out of here. Oh, no. I got to get out of here for just like a couple hours and go do some work somewhere.
But they're hitting the gritty too much.
And they're just
is that what kids do?
Making a mess.
I think so.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. See, for me, because I did it last summer and the summer before at home, I would just shut the sliding doors, and it was like, sorry, honey. Now, like at 2, I was almost my escape because they knew not to come in. So that was
because you're actually on the air. Most people have jobs. You bang on the door.
People can come in and out. Yeah. Oh, you're right. But when you're on the radio,
70,000 people are listening. Yeah.
Now, every now and then, my son would come in. I'm talking on the radio. He's 7 years old or 8, and he would just be like, "Hey, I need something." I'd be like, I'd hit the button. I'm on the air. But you try to be nice.
You ever have the B-man on the show?
You know what? He's yet to, he had an open invitation. He's yet to.
Doesn't want to?
Not yet. But I think he's getting closer now, because the other day because the headset's still in I came downstairs and he had the headset on.
Oh, yeah.
And he was talking just to himself, kind of doing a little thing. So
he had to take on the Oilers power play. He's like, I got to get this off my chest.
He's like, my dad doesn't know the power play from a hole in the ground.
He's probably been texting in the text line for years.
He's been telling off Struds.
Actually, that would be awesome.
Who is this guy?
Oh, man. It would be so awesome to find out who it was. God, it'd be hilarious.
You're going to be at the golf tournament tomorrow?
I will be. Yeah. We're going to change it up this year. I'll be on one hole. And so I get to meet everybody, because that's, to me, all the people that come out support the nation, which of course supports Gregor's grads, which is awesome. And it's most we've ever had last year. So this year I'll be on a hole and just get to talk to everybody and have a little fun.
Do we know what hole? Not off the top of our heads, eh?
There's an itinerary with holes.
You're going to put me on a hole with some other people there. Hopefully.
Yeah. I wanted to see how many.
You get to outdrive everybody? What's the sitch?
Well, let's be real here. I'm not that deep off the.
Is it a par 3? You're trying to
not
closer than
put him in play.
I can hit it down.
You know what?
Maybe you put him in play.
If you like being on the hole next year, maybe you should do like a beat Gregor.
That's what I'm saying.
Pay like,
that's exactly what's happening.
We are doing that, like a par 3.
Yeah, no. It's a long drive.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah. And all the money so basically I have, if you guys bet me whatever, then I'll match if they beat me. And if they don't, then they made their donation. So hopefully we'll make more for Gregor's grad.
And you can use his drive if you need it.
Yeah.
That's good because
It's really good in Kananaskis. I was on the 18th hole and I had shot a 79 through 17 because 84 is my best ever. And so all I needed to do was par 18.
Oh no.
Freaking hockey stick.
Oh, you felt the pressure.
Oh, it was the
mental
worst.
side of
And
sports.
And the drive wasn't even that bad. That was the thing. It was the second and third shot. And I was just pissed.
Oh yeah.
Because now I'm just
write it off.
Jacket because I'm just like, get me the hell out of here.
Last thing, because I know you got to get to a meeting here. You got to drive across town to it. But the last thing that we said we'd ask you about, and no one else is asking about it, so I will. Do you match your glasses to the weather outside? Like
the sport coat?
Well, see, I wanted to ask this too because I'm glad Tyler brought this up. Jay on Oilers Nation Radio right before this said that you said the glasses are like your hairdo.
Yeah, well, I can't change my hair. It's pretty obvious. So I think right now I got 6 pairs of goggles. Okay. Shout out to Dr. Scott Loptinsky, although he's not really a doctor. He's an eye doctor.
Yeah.
Unlicensed doctor. Happens in a car.
Doctor debate.
Century Vision Care. He's a beauty. He's honestly great. But I'll color coordinate my glasses sometimes to my outfit. Like I really like my kind of neon yellow ones. That
I imagine like the Bat Cave and you walk into like a 360 closet. There's just hundreds of pairs of glasses in a 360.
And they get
You're like,
put on
what's my mood today?
So at the peak one year for a while there I had 8 and then I went down. I was only a few.
Well, you're just throwing them out car windows as you're driving down the street, or how's that work?
Eventually, your prescription changes and stuff like that. So
what can we expect tomorrow?
Tomorrow,
The green
golf
ones.
is all shades, man. Just wear the shades, prescription shades. So.
Gotcha.
What about opening day of the station? You got some special ones you're going to bring out?
That's the cool thing now
Platinum
about
ones.
having the show online. You can have a little bit of fun.
You can get a clothing deal now.
I've always had a clothing
Well,
deal.
of course, see?
Flex.
Mr. Dirks. So go to Mr.
Well,
Dirk.
Mr. Dirks wins now. People can see you.
You know what? Well, it went way back when I originally started. You always have to. I'm a big believer in trying to think outside the box. So I was probably one of the first radio guys to have a clothing deal.
It's definitely outside the box.
I remember when you did the article in the Journal and they went through your closet. You affirmatively told them you're the best dressed media man in town. I was like, whoa, that is putting a stamp
I
on
didn't
it.
say that. She said it, which is very nice. But
She said it because you told her to say it, probably.
This has to be in there.
Here's what I need you to say.
It was, and I remember it was with, Sterling at the time at Mr. Dirk and then Kelly Nolan at Identity Clothing. And so at the time we would put all the pictures, so we would go every few months and do photo shoots. And so Curtis Como, who's now one of the best photographers around, he's unreal. He had actually went to radio and TV school with me. He was in the TV side. And then he just got out of it and he ended up going to London, taking some photography course, and he's killing it. And so I knew him and I was like, hey man, so I need a photographer. So he was my photographer and we would go do photo shoots at the clothing store. And I had a lot of my girl buddies, and I'm not stupid. Majority of my audience was guys. So if you put a few attractive girls in the photos, we would put them online. Now we would make fun of myself online because some of the photos, man, you're wearing stuff that I would never really wear in public, but it was hilarious for some of the photos. And that's just kind of how it started. And they got a lot of traction from it. So now it's gravitated over time. And, but even, I like to be a little bit bold in what I wear as far as glasses and stuff like that. And,
what's your opening day move? Do you got something special cooked up?
Every segment you're flipping. In and out.
I'm very cognizant. Now I only like to have one because then you'd lose your glasses, which isn't good. So
if you're going from 8 pairs down to 6, you're doing something wrong with your glasses. I don't know if you're losing them.
Glasses like it's my job.
Glasses maintenance.
Then I went down to 2 or 3, but now I built it back up the last few years, back up to 6. So I felt like I was missing it in my life. So
you're missing Sunday's pair.
That's good. So no, I never go by day. I go by color.
Mood.
Nowadays, because I have 5 different color glasses. So you can color coordinate to a certain suit or shirt. I feel like I have a golf outfit where I have neon pants. I have a gray sweater that has a little bit of a neon design in it and my neon glasses.
No, but none of them are outlandish as we go forward now, 1440 or 4 years from now.
John here,
are you star glasses?
The next step in the evolution.
Get there.
Hey,
maybe.
Dude, Elton John, when you watch him in concert, man, that guy's outfits were unbelievable. Like when he would come in with that big kind of eagle white thing.
This is what you need to do day one at the station.
That would be unreal.
You come in Elton John.
Make one.
Duck costume.
I would pay for one because that would be that guy.
We get you a Don't Air costume.
He could dress.
Well, can you though?
You got to.
Well, I guess I got to pay for it.
That's right. Yeah. We know where one is.
And I don't want to wear it before Tyler. I don't want to ruin it for him.
Yeah.
So Gregor's going to leave before we get him to break down some real life topics. This podcast always goes off the rail, and I've got a few.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
we're tight on
now
time.
we're already
Charles.
tight on time.
We'll give you a couple minutes. Yeah, say
Hey,
something.
go.
I
What
want
do
to
you-
hear this.
We got rapid
I
fire.
would like you to
Chalmers.
break down the gun that was discharged at the Chicago White Sox game by a lady who snuck it into her.
I saw that. I'm like,
You want to break it down? How do you break it down?
want to break that. This is a
well, here's my
Feels like you
question.
just wanted to bring that up.
She smuggled it in her body.
For anybody, she's not.
So
do you think she got to the gate and realized
And
that she
shot
had a
herself.
gun and was like, "Oh, I can't go home
What,
and take
is
the
she
gun"?
the Plaxico Burress of Chicago?
So
Pretty much.
So she would have tripped the thing off, but because it was in a fold, like folded in, they would do the pat down. You're not going to feel the gun.
Fold it in, which is a Michelin man. What do we do?
She snuck it in her belly fat.
No.
In the folds of her
That's how
belly.
the gun got in.
That's how the gun got
So,
in.
but what was like?
Maybe she forgot it was there.
Yeah,
she-
it just
so
was
she-
there.
She snuck it in, but because I didn't
and
read
then
the story.
fired it off. And
Mama's
So
gun went
saw
off.
That part, but like, what was her reasoning? Why did she want to? Like, did she just want to create chaos?
She lives in Chicago. They call it Chirac.
That's my
That's White
question.
Sox fans.
You
Exactly.
got to be strapped.
Did she have it next to her bed while she was sleeping? And it
So
just
you
got
actually didn't
lodged
want
in
Gregor's
there?
take on this at all. You just wanted to talk about
this.
it.
I want to know what he
break
thinks.
it down. Okay, what's the next one?
Next topic.
Yeah.
This could only be even better.
Have you ever fallen asleep in a dentist chair before?
Yes.
No.
No,
Well,
When they're grinding
Never.
on your teeth and you fall asleep? Oh, yeah.
cannot.
I hate
I
the
could not
dentist.
stay awake.
I fall
That's
asleep.
mental toughness.
I fall asleep in dentist
That
chair.
is
It's
mental.
good.
That's
You've never-
greeneration.
Or
when
narcolepsy.
they're cleaning your teeth, like how
Like
bad?
scraping at it.
Like, what are you guys like, Dumb and Dumber? And they're giving you like a teeth thing in there. They got the grinders. in there?
I go
Like, how
first thing
dirty
in the
are your
morning.
teeth?
So and I haven't had my coffee yet, so I'm still kind of tired.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know how
Only
to
get a good
comfortable.
dentist appointment at
And
5 a.m.
The only thing that wakes me up is when she kind of like has to
Yeah.
reopen the mouth
Yeah.
because it's starting to shut.
And I can't say.
I don't do it all the time, but
Okay,
I've
but
done it.
here's a serious one. I watched the Bishop Sycamore documentary last night.
What is
I'm
that?
wondering if anybody's
You're
seen
all
it.
over the
About that
road.
high school that like
Doesn't
fake
not
high
a
school. Yeah. Old,
and it's just
old
like
kids.
grown men playing high school sports.
It's one of the
Yeah,
most
it's like,
amazing
yeah,
stories,
it's
man.
like,
This guy just like
Chinese
decided
Taipei at the Little League World Series.
he just decided he was going to make a high school team and had nobody enrolled in his high school.
Who does
And
R. Kelly? Who's coming up with these ideas?
He's a con artist. It's
Oh.
fascinating.
Where do I find this?
Netflix.
Is it Untold? Is it an Untold?
No, it's not an Untold. It's
it's
its
a
own separate documentary.
Yeah.
Was it good?
It was
make a high
awesome.
school?
It was
One out of
amazing.
10, you're recommending it
A 9.
9.
That's a
so
niner.
he just went to a building, wrote high school on the wall, and stood out front with a sandwich board.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean, what's funny is his intentions were good, but he's a con artist. And so he was trying to give people a second chance, but he had like kids that had come out of college that were 20 years old playing on a high school team and somehow conned everybody into believing it was a legit thing and played the #1 academy IMG on ESPN where
yeah,
they
they
got
got him on
blown out
TV, yes.
like 64-0. And that's when everybody
64-0.
something like that.
Yeah.
And everybody was just like, how did this slip through the cracks?
But didn't
and
it-
this is the story of how it
I
slipped
gotta
through the
watch it.
cracks.
That's like that lady who
It's
ran the 100-meter in 5
amazing.
hours. You see that lady? Did you see
Rosie
her?
Ruiz?
She was the minister of sports kid.
Yeah. Like there's like an investigation as
Yeah,
to
they
why.
sent her to the race because she was the minister's daughter to run in the 100-meter dash. These are what you've missed, Gregor. You've missed these stories.
Dude, I
and
saw
you've
that.
missed
I love
nothing
taking
else.
left turns. It's
saw
my
that.
favorite.
I saw that story. The Sycamore one I'd seen before. Because there was a lot, like people were like, how does ESPN, like, don't you do your background and stuff? But it can just show you how people will turn a blind eye because they just trust that well, they've gotten this far. It must be legit. Like, how could it get to us on ESPN and not be legit?
Well, like it's unfathomable to think like this dude faked a high school. It's not
That's-
something you think
dude,
like, oh,
that's-
that must be a scam.
That's exactly what the investigator said. So
Whatever
that-
guy says on
It's a
Friday
pretty
night
easy
sometimes.
investigation. Let's go to the high school. Oh shit, there isn't one.
there's an
Google
Ohio
Maps and
State
Arby's.
investigator, Ohio State high school athletic investigator.
That's gotta be
who
a
was
great
like,
job, eh?
We never knew to look for it because we couldn't fathom somebody would actually try this.
But when you like look at
First
your
time you actually
database,
do
like
work.
does this school in
His
our
phone
database?
rings. He's like, hello? There's something to investigate? What are you talking
This was the best year of this guy's life,
23
man.
years.
He Googles the address. It's a
We
Wendy's.
think one of the teams on ESPN is fake. In my jurisdiction?
So did he have teachers?
No,
No, there was nothing.
there was no classes. There was no nothing.
It was just a bunch of 20-year-old dudes going and playing high school sport.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that
Which
rules.
is hilarious.
That is.
I love it.
And like to get an extra game in, he had an exhibition game on a Friday and then another game on a Sunday. And these kids are like running into brick walls and they have to do it twice in like 3 days. It was disgusting,
Yeah.
but it's fascinating. Watch it.
Rapid
There's
fire,
easier
what's that?
cons than faking a high school. That guy really tried. You got to give him credit.
Yep.
He went
This
big.
guy just wanted to be a coach, man. He just wanted to be a coach. It was like he wanted to be
no
famous,
avenues to make that
and he wanted to be rich. And he thought this was the way to do it.
That's an accurate description.
All right, Greg, thanks for hopping on.
Hey, boys.
Good luck with the station.
Well, thank you. Best of luck.
Yeah, excited for
Happy-
Tuesday.
Hey, we're happy to have Nation a big part of it, so we're looking good. A lot of the Nation people will be contributors regularly on 1440, so it'll be fun.
We're going to make you big on TikTok, Gregor.
Whew. What's TikTok?
Precisely.
Those glasses are going to pop.
Oh, yeah.
You're gonna go so viral.
Check. Whew, look at us go.
All right, we're back. Oilers Nation Open presented by Star Mechanical out at the Millwoods Golf Course tomorrow. A big positive that's come from this already is that in all the goodie bags, there's Wilhock beef jerky. But we got
so much already.
But we got
gave us
extra beef
They
jerky.
gave us an extra bag, and that bag is big, and it's almost empty.
It is almost empty. I think Liam had it by his computer outside, so it's probably almost.
Yeah, there's crumbs left in there.
Yeah. Shout out to Wilhock Beef Jerky. They're going to be a big part of the golf tournament tomorrow. Pretty much everyone is. It really is a nice little.
It's a great day.
All of our friends are there.
Yeah, it's great weather. It's going to be exciting, and that was fun having Gregor here, and especially because this tournament really helps him out in that Gregor's grad, but he would he wasn't really involved in the tournament until the end when he would show up and he would kind of MC the event and he would give his impassioned speech about how much it meant to him. But this year, incorporating him on a holes, that's going to be fun. Everybody's going to get to meet him.
Yeah, because normally he does his show from like the clubhouse or something, and he's kind of like, you can look at him through the window.
Oh, look, Gregor, great. Now I'm going to go.
This is going to be way better.
Yeah, it's going to be
Way
awesome.
better.
I'm looking forward to it. How you guys feeling? I got this. I'm not even going to bring up. It's not excuses, but I got a hell of a heel injury that I tried to put my golf shoe on yesterday, and does it hurt? Look at that cut.
What
happened to you?
I scraped it on a screen door. A screen door closed too fast. One of those metal ones. It was closing too fast, and as I'm walking away, it just went.
Is it a guillotine?
It was pretty much a guillotine. It was
my
sharp
God.
metal.
Well, I'm going to try to go to the range today. I just haven't golfed in forever, but who cares?
Here's the good news.
Well,
Even
here's
in
also-
sandals. I was hitting them well.
Oilers Nation Radio, Jay was talking about how his hands are too soft.
Oh my God.
So I feel like there's already excuses coming from Dean Chalmers
I
and
don't
Jay.
care. I don't care. I'm not using it as an excuse.
You're on plane. You got
But
it soft.
I had a spray foam incident where I just got spray foam on my hand. That shit is sticky.
took
It does not
180
come off.
layers.
Taking it off takes layered off. Just can't.
Dude, Dad, you should have called me. You don't take it off like that.
Well, how do you do it?
You don't try to peel it off. It adheres to your skin.
Yes,
you have to use
I learned.
You have to use like legit Varsol or Goof Off.
You put your hands in boiling water.
WD-40.
Soak your hands in Coca-Cola.
You have to.
Oh,
you
that's
have.
good.
Yeah, you have to like get it off. If you try to peel it off, it will literally peel your skin off.
Yeah, no, it did. So my hands, they're nice and tender right now.
Another thing, I need you to put an electrical outlet back in the wall because I electrocuted myself really bad yesterday trying to do it.
No,
I
he
put them all
didn't.
back
No, he
in?
didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
Wait a minute.
Did not.
Oh,
Yeah, not on. No, it was on his own personal time
good.
at his choosing.
was
Not
off
in your
the
own
clock.
time, your M-Chuck.
I was like, this thing's dangling out of the wall. So I just grabbed it and was like, what the?
So
I was
we.
like, holy fuck. And I like stumbled out of the room and Dan goes, did I just hear that? And I was like, yeah, man. And my arm was like tingling.
That sounds like it was here again, Jay.
So when I put up those.
No, he
wood-
didn't.
That didn't happen here.
On his own time.
That
Should I
happened
bleep
elsewhere.
it out? Should I
Jay,
actually bleep
you
it out?
gotta calculate this. He's in our building, working for the company.
On his own time,
He could sue
after
us
how many hours?
6 different ways here.
I was a
Unannounced.
rogue employee.
He went rogue.
I installed all the electrical here with my own
His
unaccredited.
hands were piss filled.
Oh,
So we did the wood slats. They look amazing.
they look
The
amazing.
new,
It does. It looks
the
awesome,
new
man.
studio is going to look super cool. Are you telling me that it's one of the outlets in there? Because I put them all back.
No, it's on the sidewall.
It's in
Oh,
that room. And
okay.
It's on the sidewall.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you just basically grabbed an electrical outlet.
He's like,
And it
oh,
hurts.
I'm a
That'll
liar. Come
That'll
here,
give you
dude.
a little taste of some power.
Oh, it hurt real
It
bad.
ain't gonna hurt you. Wow, did it really?
Well, I mean,
It-
like,
Oh, great.
It's a little
Tyler's
tingle.
trying to use it as an excuse for tomorrow.
No, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
No,
What's
yeah.
Liam's problem?
my excuse
much
for
beef jerky?
tomorrow.
Well, Liam's excuse is he doesn't eat eggs.
Yeah, that's Liam's excuse.
weirdo.
I was playing rec league soccer as I do, and I was playing in net.
You do?
And I ran out to go catch a ball, and this guy who had to have been like 6'3", or like he was jacked. He jumped up at the same time as me. As he landed right on my foot, and now my foot's all
Oh,
swollen.
my God.
Everybody in this room's nursing a painful.
Oh,
yeah.
Not you and I, Wanye. We're just sitting here.
The only good
Built
thing
for comfort.
I am fine for tomorrow. I am going to be A-okay.
by about the second hole in the second Ryan Coke, all the pain will go away. That's going to be couple drinks. What are you looking at me for? You're not going to have a beer tomorrow there, Tyler?
No, sir. I'm there to win.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I feel sorry for
What is the side bet
Ryan
amongst you
Denny.
guys again?
What's that?
What's the side bet again?
So our side bet is, I don't remember.
The winner.
Oh, our side bet. I have no idea.
What the losers wear to our season launch party.
Yes.
And that means you have to show up to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Will do.
Speaking of showing up. Speaking of showing
So
up.
I can see what I'm going to put you in.
Chalmers,
Exactly.
can you give us a percentage update that you will be in Seattle with the crew on Friday, November 10th?
I'm working on it.
It's going down.
That's not a percentage update.
Yeah, it is
Oh,
going
run those
down.
spots.
Okay, you guys, but here's the thing. Like, I will know after September 10th. September 10th is when
It'll probably be sold out by then.
my hockey team, you don't save spots for nation people?
They're filling up.
We
Okay.
send out a preliminary email for people who are interested, reserve those spots for them,
Okay.
and then sell the rest.
Okay.
Well, everyone buys a trip. That's got to make sure
Yeah.
that's clear. But
If you want to get in, yes, it's filling up fast. The Nation Vacation with hockey and football in one. Your trip includes flights to and from Seattle, transportation to and from the hotel in Seattle to the airport, your game day experience at Climate Pledge, your game day experience at Lumen Field. It's going to be a really good time. And you get 3 nights hotel, 10th, 11th, 12th, 3 nights hotel, downtown Seattle.
your check math.
Yeah. No, it's a
Gregor
confirmation.
didn't react to the piss stuff that well.
Well,
He doesn't have a very good sense of humor.
Maybe it
You're
hits close
basing
to
a
home.
person's sense of humor as to whether or not they laugh
He doesn't
about
know it's
piss
funny
stuff.
or not, eh?
Exactly.
He doesn't know a
get
good
it.
piss joke when he hears one.
He doesn't get it. He says,
When Gregor sat down, I was watching him and he was like, this won't be that bad. And then the piss talk started and he's like, this is going terrible. I could just see in his eyes. He's like, what the hell am I doing here? Again. Oh, sorry,
Well,
Gregor,
unfortunately, you
we have our
can't. Well, you got to get all the piss talk out digitally because you can't talk about it on radio because CRTC.
Mhm.
During
can't talk about piss on the radio.
during my weekly hits with Gregor, I will be
Unless
talking about
you're
this.
having you're like having a
The
urine
waterworks
show.
with
Yeah.
Tyler Yarmchuk.
yeah, this is Water Corner.
And you're talking about like informative piss talk
And how it tastes.
I've been down
and
in
the mineral
waters today.
composition
Mhm.
and how it tastes different in the morning versus
First
the
one in the
afternoon
morning.
versus the evening.
That's the energy drink.
You drink them primes, Chalmers, ever?
No,
Aren't they
my kids
banned?
want. I'm not allowed
No.
to. I had one once, and it is the sweetest, worst tasting crap I've ever tried.
Aren't they have like 4 cups of coffee in one of those? Like
Pretty
I'm a
much.
big energy drink guy. I thought you'd be all over them primes.
No. Primes are no good. Like just the taste of them is awful. Like
All right.
you
They
can
look like
take
melted popsicles.
you can take one prime and split it into 2, fill it with water, and it tastes normal. Like it's like that's the sweetness level you should.
You're not going to get all the prime energy.
Isn't it the whole thing is like less sugar than everything, or is it more sugar than everything?
No, it's
Probably
tons of caffeine.
aspartame, so it's more natural.
No, it's
Prime. More sugar.
More sugar than Mountain Dew.
Yeah.
It's
Come at us,
tons-
bro.
it's tons of caffeine. That's what I know about it. But no, I don't drink no primes. They're gross.
I've never had one. I'm gonna try one.
I've never had one either.
Kids love
I'm thinking about
primes.
making a switch from Coke Zeros to regular Coke.
You got to get off artificial sweeteners.
There's a lot of people
Aspartame
that
is
just
natural.
keep telling me that like it's
I saw an aspartame tree the other day.
Yeah. You
like
see them
the
on the
worst
wild?
for you,
You
hey?
pick out wild aspartame leaves.
Stevia actually is a leaf, and
Yes.
you can chew on that. It is sweet.
Chalmers, I'd like to bring something up because this directly affects you, I believe.
Awesome.
The other day,
Yeah.
I had a Slurpee ruined again by
Okay.
a paper straw.
So, did you hear the new report? Is that what you're
That's
getting
what
at?
I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
There's been a straw report.
Yeah.
Come
There is
back?
There's a new
Yeah.
report that there is an increased risk of some cancers, including prostate, kidney, and testicular cancers
Awesome.
from a toxin released by the paper straws.
Yes, yes,
We did it.
They did it.
We
Big
did it.
plastic straws found their narrative.
I just don't understand how I can put the Slurpee in a huge plastic glass, but I can't drink it with a plastic straw.
So what
The
I
other
do,
day I was at the grocery store. Every single thing I bought had a plastic bag on it or a plastic container.
Mhm.
And then I got to the end and they're like, what environmentally friendly decision would you like to make now, sir?
It's like we're being punked or something. It's like somebody
swear
said,
to God, it has nothing to do with the problems we're facing.
Here's what we're going to do. We have a plastic problem. Now, instead of taking all the logical steps we could to
tell
fight
the
this battle,
manufacturers to switch what they encase your food in.
let's do the most annoying one you can. And that is,
Because that's how it really feels like you're making a difference. If everyone's
This is why you like living in St. Albert.
Oh, St.
have you been to A&W and had a root beer out of a paper
and
straw?
they just
it's
pour
the
it in your
worst.
hands.
I would rather that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say what I do with my
Pour it
Slurpee
in my
straws
plastic bag.
is I take the cup and I smush it together so the Slurpee comes to the top. And I just go, yes. Oh.
I got a McDonald's. Charles, I got a McDonald's
Gotta clip
breakfast the other
that.
day.
Gotta clip that.
If you can see the video of that, it did not look like he was drinking root beer.
Yeah, you gotta clip that.
I got a McDonald's breakfast the other day. They fucked the order up. Surprise, surprise. They bring it out to me, and the lady just came out with a hash brown. Was like, here. I was like, what fucking?
She was like holding your hash.
Yeah.
This is it, man.
Not holding it by the bag, holding it by the
She
hash
didn't
brown.
have a tray. She didn't have a bag. Obviously,
The
I'm not
grease
paying
is
15
keeping the
cents.
paper
She
on
just
it?
came out like she was handing me a phone and was like, "Here you go." And I'm like, I don't know. About
Want some ketchup and just has some in her mouth. Like, yeah.
She just hands you your drink like this, you know what I mean?
seriously, man.
But like if you have a medium Slurpee and you drink half of it and then you've got to stir the rest, the paper straw is
It's
done
gone.
by then.
I basically had to fold it and chopstick feed myself.
There is a hemp plastic, like it's plastic, but it's made of hemp, and it completely biodegrades after 90 days once the seal's been cracked on a drink. So you could have all the bottles in a. You know,
Does it get you baked?
Get you baked.
Oh,
Oh yeah, no.
I also got a lot of people.
My point is, there's other solutions that we could have. We could have hemp plastic that's indistinguishable, but we don't want to.
A bunch of folks sent me these sugar cane straws that I ordered.
The fuck.
Apparently, they're made of sugar cane, and they will not
The actual
disintegrate in your
cane,
drink.
like it's like a bamboo stick.
Some kind of byproduct of the sugar cane, and it'll it'll biodegrade, but will not disintegrate in your cold or hot beverages. So I ordered a bunch, and we'll see how it goes.
Here's what you do. You want a plastic straw? What's their half-life? 900 years? You go to the dump, you dig around, you find an old McDonald's one, you're
Yeah,
back
I mean,
in the game.
they'll have
son.
you believe they're everywhere.
Yep. Every
I have yet to see a turtle straw sticking out of his
Someone
mouth.
said it once and we all just believed it.
Yeah, we just bought into that one
they
video.
pulled it
Now
out.
I
you're-
have never been so happy to see
You're thinking
a
of beer
report.
six-packs with like a goose halfway through.
Well, that too.
That's legit. There's other ways to pack it.
Yeah, you could just. I like
So
those
one
little
dumb
But again,
bird
we haven't gotten rid of those
six-packs.
sixer connectors, but we're getting rid of all the plastic straws and fucking melting paper in my
One
Slurpee.
dumb bird gets his head stuck, and now we've all got to suffer for it.
Rectal cancer from a paper straw.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
I have another beef about drive-thrus though.
One asshole goose.
One
Now
asshole.
my
goose.
asshole's the goose.
I hate. So you had to go like when you went to.
Sorry.
Thank you.
You just heard it or what?
Yeah,
He's
sorry.
got the headphones on. Just work.
That was good. That was good. Thank you.
You had to go pull off to the side and wait for a singular hash brown at your drive-thru. There is nothing that infuriates me more than when I go to the drive-thru. I will have like a small order, a coffee and a breakfast sandwich, and they'll be like, "I pull ahead to lane 2," and it's like, "There's no one behind me. I can wait. Why can't I wait here?"
Tim Hortons
Why are we
doesn't
doing
have
this?
one of these landing areas. They're OG. They'll sort you out at the window.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the way God intended
That's
it.
the way Tim Horton intended until an accident killed
My
him.
blood boils. Holy shit. My blood boils when they say go ahead and wait up there. I hate it. I almost want to
It's
leave.
not a drive-through. It's a
It's like-
drive-in
But
park.
you've already paid.
I know.
It's
a
like
drive and
I'll just wait here.
Yeah, I'm good here. I should take a stand.
I'm good here.
Yes.
Do it, you're empty.
What are they going to do?
stand
Move
in
my
the
fucking
nation.
car?
They're gonna be like, nobody's ever said
What will
that
the people
before.
making your food do to fuck with you? Hey?
You know what?
Nothing.
Giving Tim Hortons more props. Yesterday I went and got lunch there.
Yes.
And the guy at the window was like, hell yeah, nation truck. Fucking right. So he gave me my sandwich at the window and away I
And a
went.
also, the bags that they're not giving us in McDonald's are paper.
Yeah, it's not a plastic
Why
bag.
is that 15 cents? What the fuck?
Or
But that's not McDonald's fault. That is a city
But
thing.
that's not. But paper bags decompose.
I know.
You know
I know.
what? We've had the mayor on before. Let's get him back.
You know what?
Let's get political. It's
I'm
time
sure
to
he
get
wants to
political.
talk about it.
I'd like to talk about that Valley line. Also, get him in here.
He's
I wanna
there at
talk
night
about-
welding the lines. Eh?
what they're going to do for me when I go and I say I don't need a bag. And then they spill my fries all over the tray and I'm supposed to individually pick them up
Yeah.
like a fucking seagull or
I got the time for this.
and then you're fingering around on that same tray. Come on.
I didn't know what he was going to say when he started saying fingering.
Mm-hmm. I was worried.
Well, I'm annoyed. I'm rattled. My
The long
Slurpee
and the
was
short of it
rogue.
is, for people who eat most of our meals in drive-thrus, this is a big inconvenience to all of us. Yep.
I think that's it.
Yeah, just leave
What
it at
else
that.
needs to be said?
I think we're
What
good.
other world problems do we need to dissect and solve?
Actually, I think this is a pretty good episode of the podcast.
Don't bring a gun to the baseball game. We learned
Don't
that
bring
today.
guns to
Well,
baseball.
if you,
I am
or if you
shocked
want
that
to,
she-
you know how.
She just carried it in her like gravity well.
Yeah.
Like people in Chicago, you got about an 80% chance of carrying a gun.
And she grazed herself with it, the bullet.
She shot herself.
Oh, she shot herself? I thought it was the lady next to her.
No, she shot herself.
It all ends well.
She grazed herself.
Everything's fine.
The tweet, though, is just masterful.
Her tweet?
No, the reporter that said, report, the gunshot that went off at White Sox Stadium was an accidental discharge done by a woman who snuck the gun in her belly fat.
That's a newspaper headline.
Who says
I got
news
a lot
dead?
of questions.
And to think the newspapers all went out of business
Yeah.
before that could be the headline.
I'm sorry, I don't get any news now because of Meta.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
I got
That's a
all my
whole
news from
funny
Russia.
thing.
The other day I
Like,
went to look at the Ched Instagram account because I
That's
wanted
down.
to see about the Elks. It didn't exist.
I love how the media companies are like trying to go after and slander Meta for this when it's them trying to like get money from Meta for
What
this.
year was that
They
sentence you just
rely
said
on
from?
it for distribution. Why are you fucking slapping the hand that feeds you?
Are you 82 years old? You went to Ched for Elks?
because they had something and I was like, I want to see what they had about
wow.
the Elks.
This is the first time I've ever been blocked from seeing it.
But some radio stations are still on.
It's like really.
It's like if you don't
Ched
tell
be
anybody
considered a
anything
news
helpful,
outlet.
they'll let
but
you
like
have
it's
it.
like they're trying to slam Meta.
Kissins is down.
It doesn't like guys.
why?
It actually amplifies your content. It drives traffic.
Meta
to you.
does pay media creators.
And they do
Yes, they do.
because that content's monetized already. It doesn't make any. It's so silly. Australia
side
did
are
it
you
and
on?
it lasted like 1 second,
What-
and they
because
and
Rupert Murdoch speaks for the industry and can
because
sort it out.
Google and Meta held on to say, "Okay, we're going to do this," and then Australia cave in and said, "No, you're right. We're going to go back to the way it
What
was."
side are you on?
I'm on Meta's side.
Yeah, man. The only thing that Zuckerberg hates more than the government is when you share fake cat news.
I'm gonna
That's how you
text
get
you
your
my
cat
wife's
website
phone number,
deleted.
and
And
you
when
guys
Elon
can have
ducks
a
it.
hell of a conversation
But
about it.
she's a victim of circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Their content would be getting distributed if they weren't, if this government bill wasn't passed with their hands reaching out saying, oh, well, for this news content, you have to pay for it. When in fact, if you allow them to distribute the news content, they get paid for it. It doesn't make any sense. Like
Yeah.
Facebook is a huge refer of traffic for us.
Yep.
That reminds
The
me.
biggest refer of traffic for us.
How's Threads?
Oh, by the way, I've conceded that.
That's still a thing.
Yeah, I've conceded that. But I can't find a Twitter shirt, though. This is going to take me some
How's
doing.
Threads going, everybody? Remember the ex killer?
See,
I
here's the
still
thing
think
that
it
I
might-
think about Threads.
It's a long game.
This is going to be a very long game.
Yeah, I'm
Had they released the product that they have today,
Yeah.
the adoption rate would have been better.
100 million follow or subscribers in 48 hours isn't enough?
No, but there was like, why don't I have a following feed? Like, why can't I just see
Right.
the stuff from the people I followed? Like, all that got implemented in the weeks after. It's like they rushed the launch, it almost feels like.
And how's Blue Sky and Mastodon going?
Blue Sky is growing as far as I hear, but like, I have an account on Blue Sky and I look and I'm like, I don't know anybody who's here.
What's the new cup you got there? It's a Twitter half X cup.
Yeah, Waz got this for me when he went down to some kind of Twitch
That's cool.
convention.
Point is this: nobody's dethroning X. Maybe Elon might turn it off, but I don't know.
Unless he tries to eliminate the block and then Tim Cook will dethrone
You
it.
see that article that Ronan Farrow wrote about him?
Hmm.
Oh dear.
Whoa. About
Remember that guy,
Elon?
Ronan Farrow. He
Yeah.
exposed everything and everybody.
Yeah.
Somehow
Now he's got something on Elon?
He followed Elon around for like a year. That's
Uh-oh.
not good.
Yeah.
Turns out he does a lot of ketamine.
Really?
So you're not.
It's in the
supposed-
article. I'm
you're
not saying
supposed to do ketamine.
No,
Well,
not a good idea.
Nope.
Okay.
They use it for treating depression. Ketamine
That's
has
a good idea.
It was developed.
Don't abuse ketamine.
Well, if it makes you the richest man in the
Everything
world.
in moderation.
If you want to land in a K-hole, that's your own.
You're the richest man in the world. You do as many K-holes as you want. But Ronan Farrow caught him. So,
But the point we're getting to is I owe you a Twitter shirt.
well, all I'm saying is that
I'll find one.
.com or Twitter.
Well, I don't know. They're both hard to find right now. I might have to go off grid.
you got to go Etsy.
Did you
Yep,
wait in
probably
line
Etsy.
to buy that shirt at the concert?
Hell no. I don't wait in line for shit.
Yeah. Okay. Because every concert I've gone to, the apparel line's been like
It's worth it all.
around the
But like,
block.
if you really want one that bad, 3 weeks before the concert, just order it from the band's website.
That's exactly what I did with this. I saw the line at Blink. I went to the line. I'm like, not doing that.
Yeah.
Went to my seat and ordered it from the website.
Yeah. Good. I was just wondering. I like it. It's a nice shirt.
Thank you.
All right. That's it. That's a wrap. We'll see people at the golf tournament tomorrow. Bye-bye.
So,
oh, you have more to talk about.
no, just on Monday. It's a holiday, but we need to break down the golf tournament. So what are we doing? Are we doing it? Are we going to wait till next Thursday?
Can we do a Tuesday episode?
I think we could do a Tuesday episode.
I'm not here.
Try and squeeze it in.
I can do a Tuesday episode if you want to do a Tuesday episode. Just me and you.
I just wanted to put that bug in everybody's ear that, we need to talk about this golf tournament after it happens.
Yeah.
And I don't really want to wait till Thursday. But if we have to, we have to.
You're gonna put that paper straw in my nose?
No, we got to do it
You
at
bet.
some point. Just Tuesday. We'll talk about it. We'll
You
think
want the
about
lady
it.
in McDonald's drive-thru to feed you them fries?
Oh, because Tuesday is
That's the next step. It's
launch
like,
of Jason
say,
Gregor
feed
show.
it to me.
you're like, do you want to pay for me to put it on a tray?
I'd pay good money for the lady in McDonald's to feed me fries.
Okay.
Mamacita.
end it now.
Okay, now we can end it.
Yes.